Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Here Be Dragons. I am your host, Steve Lynn Shorthalt, here to entertain and bewilder you with facts and opinions, both significant and ridiculous. Joining me today, my good friend Nessie. Welcome back, friendo. It's we hit a miss. We were supposed to stream together about this 2 weeks ago. And I had a migraine, so I was just like, you know what? You guys do you. I still haven't even gone back and watched that. I really should. I guess you talked a lot about season 1 of this show, right?
We did. I think it took us through almost the first half of the stream.
We did a lot of setup. We talked a lot about season 1. We did some setup, then we descended into madness as usual, and then brought it back home, I think, toward the end. Yeah. But yeah.
You know how we are. Rails are more like a suggestion around here.
Maybe.
But yeah, so I'm sorry I missed that one. But here we are. We're going to talk about it. But Nessie's back. It's been a minute since I've gotten to stream with Nessie. John, it's been a lot more recent, but always nice to see you, buddy. But yeah, so season 2 of Vox Machina. Where to begin other than the beginning? You know what? I do the way we always start, top-down view, because that's where I really like to go from. So yeah, John, you were the one I feel like I had to twist your arm to get to watch this a little bit. So why don't you go ahead? I haven't heard you say anything. I've talked with Nessie a bit about the show. I don't think I've really talked with you much at all.
No, we've talked about it.
Not a lot.
Well, it's funny because you said twist my arm. A lot of this comes down to the fact that I have been a lazy viewer over the past year or so, where I kind of have watched the stuff that's like super, super important to me, and then everything else seems to be things that you guys have to force me to watching, so I make time for it.
I understand. As somebody who watches stuff before the channel, I get it.
Yeah. So I was actually excited to finally get to this, even though I had watched the first episode of the series and kind of wasn't feeling it. But now I see that's because even though I couldn't have known that first episode actually sets up a lot of stuff that's at play in season 2. But at the time, it just felt like this is kind of a general adventure thing they're doing.
Right.
It's not very meaty. But what it was doing was just setting up the world.
A place to start from.
Yeah, and letting you get familiar with the characters. Because from like episode 3 of season 1 onward, and that includes throughout this second season, I just went crazy for the show.
Just the way they make you empathize with the characters and then hurt them, so that it hurts you. Like that's what he's doing, and that is both great. Look, as somebody, I'm a dungeon master. I do what Matt Mercer does. I'm the one hurting the characters. You know, I'm the one taking your twin sister from you and forcing you to choose. Like that's
and I do want to say I'm sure I said this I'm sure I said this last week when we were talking, Nessie, and I know I've said it to you, Stephen, but I need to say it again. This show is like, it's the adult version of Saturday morning cartoons that I grew up loving.
I do remember you saying that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
we
it's
talked
just
about that a lot.
it's just a dream come true watching this because I do feel like it makes me feel like I'm a little kid again watching those, but also it's evolved to something that like
It's still
I can sink my teeth into as an adult.
it really walks that line so well, doesn't it? And like it's helped by its art style.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
art is
really
gorgeous.
Which lends a lot to that Saturday morning anime-esque, not quite comic book-esque, not quite style.
It's Saturday morning.
It's Saturday morning
It's
cartoon style. I mean, it's really slick. Let's not get it twisted. And I
Oh no,
love the way they use
Yeah.
CG for the larger than life monsters because it just gives them this otherworldliness.
I wasn't fond of that at
Which you
first, especially in season 1, because I think the fact that they had more money for season 2 shows, because I think the CG stuff is better. I'm not gonna lie, like my favorite stuff is the hand-drawn stuff, and it just really reminds me of like, especially it's not dark like those shows. I mean, it's not visually dark like those shows, but it kind of gives me the vibe of Batman the Animated Series and Gargoyles and stuff like that in terms of its style and I don't know, maybe I just don't have anything else off the top of my head to compare it to, but like those are the things that I grew up watching and were like breaking down barriers. For me as a kid, like those shows were groundbreaking, and so it just feels like a natural evolution for me to be watching this show where it's dealing with like heavy stuff and the characters are cursing left and right.
And dealing with heavy stuff both personally and I'm sorry, Nessie, we haven't even talked to you about what you thought about it, and you're all fuzzy. Do you want to wait till
I'm gonna
you want to wait till your mind is a little more clear, or are you ready to talk? Are you ready to?
Oh, I'm gonna let you guys can wax poetic for a little while. I just love hearing you guys talk about this because I love this show so much. I put in the effort and watched Critical Role campaign 1.
Oh wow!
So yeah, and
Nessie, I'm realizing that it's typical Stanlin. He's taking the focus from you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know. Is that what it is? It was fun. It was fun. Yes. Let me try this. I'm just gonna see if I can reset the camera.
No, that won't reset.
No.
Anyway, so a quick question. You say your heart belongs to the.
Sorry.
I see a Nexalia and I see a heart. My heart belongs to Vexalia. Is there something? Is there something you two want to share with the rest of the class?
No, there's a distinction here, and I want to make that clear because, and not because I would not give my heart to Nessie, but it's because Rock would kill me.
Right.
So,
well, that's the difference between Nexalia and Vexalia. I just, I love Vexalia's character. I don't know, because she can be vulnerable one minute and just a hardcore
prickly
bitch the next.
Yeah.
The next, and
maybe
and delicious. I love her.
And maybe this is superficial of me, but I just love that she flirts with pretty much everybody. There's just something so playful about her.
Like, okay, so
oh yeah.
So what I'm
but it's surface level. It's all surface level.
But yeah, it's a way to get
I
what
think
she
identify
wants.
with her the most.
Oh, her heart belongs to somebody else. Like like we're not dealing with that this season, but we're dealing with that next season. I don't think there's any way we're not.
Oh, for real, yes.
Season.
Oh, I just said that my heart belongs to her. This is not a reciprocal thing because I know that.
She'll gladly let you adore her. I'm sure that's fine.
Exactly.
especially if she gets a good deal.
And I can't be that upset because I told you this, I think, during one of the Zoom chats, Stephen, that I could only choose a favorite character split up by season.
So what about season 2? Who's your favorite season 2 character? Is it Nextalia? Is it Vexalia? Nessie? Is it Vex? Is it Vex, John? Is it Vex?
Vex.
Is it Vex?
Vexalia. But I was saying I can't be that mad because my favorite character from season 1 is Percy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, I get it.
Of course, this season it's Vexalia. Of course it is. And like I said, John, I'm just going to say it for, Team Beard and all the future watchers about Team Beard. I've decided what I'm getting you for your birthday, and it is going to be a belt of dwarven kind. So just saying.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
fantastic.
Well, it doesn't need to do anything here. It needs to work its magic up here.
Right. John is currently John is currently imbued with his magic item, Shadow of 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
But
yeah. By the way, half elves forever. You're not kidding. Vex is the right answer this season. Apparently, according to all three of us, Vex was my favorite character this season. Vax is probably a close second.
The second, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just what and Grog, like I fell in love with Grog in a way I didn't know I could this season.
Yeah, the close runner up.
Wait.
And one of these two actually almost overcame Vexalia for me just because they had the season arcs. Vax did as well, but my two runner ups were basically Grog and Stanlin.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, of course, it's Vexalia.
But Vax,
yeah.
I like. To me, in season 1, Vax was just like edgy, I'm too edgy for my own good, you know. But this season, I was like, bro, like the vulnerability of him, like, do not go far from me. Oh, just and the way he knew his sister, he seemed so strong and independent, and then leveling up and getting wings at the end is.
Yeah.
I was just like,
no, I really did enjoy his story, but he has the burden of being, this season he's kind of the chosen one, filling that archetype. And
he doesn't want it.
Yeah. Where we heard that before. But so yeah, it's not that I thought his story was great, but he just there were so many great arcs this season that
notably Percy and Percy had less to do this season, which is fine.
Yeah, but
he played a great supporting role throughout.
He got to do some great flirting.
Yeah, he did. And we got to see here's the thing, we kind of got to see happy Percy.
He earned it.
Well,
he earned
his
happiness
to go to the Feywild. Ever since he was a little boy, that was his dream. He finally got to go to the Feywild.
It was better in the books. It was better in the books.
Better in the
One
books.
of the best lines in the whole show. I'm just like,
that is a straight up Percy line.
By the way, shout out to my man Billy Boyd for his appearance.
Knowing just enough lore of Exandria, I know who that is. And it took me a minute to figure it out, but eventually I put it together.
There's
I know
so many Easter eggs hidden.
which I don't recognize, but that's okay. Somebody said a great thing, one of the things that makes this show different and what they are executing beautifully is the fact that they can foreshadow. Am I missing something?
I was just putting it up.
Oh, yeah, I put that one up earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Things happen in a D&D game that you cannot foresee. But when you're adapting it to television, you can foreshadow things that are going to happen. in a way
Mhm.
that you can't do in a D&D game, you know? So
Right.
like they
Right.
really are taking full advantage of this medium to retell the story in a new and interesting way.
Yes. And they tightened the storylines and streamlined it so well. I'm really not. I am not dissatisfied at all because let's face it, the amount of meat they had to pare down to make a continuous, smooth flowing story with all these arcs. Four? Did they get four character arcs this season in? Vex and Vax,
Vex
Scanlan
back,
and Bob?
Scanlan and Grog. No, you know what?
Yeah.
Tell me Keyless didn't have an arc this season.
And Keyleth got a little growth
Fire
spurt too.
Elemente, dude, tree striding in fire elemental form from one cursed tree to another to burn them both from the inside. Like,
I know
mm.
it's really is a sign of like how many great like character arcs we got this season that Keyleth it isn't immediately jumping
Right.
to the top of the list because
Well, everybody got the benefit of a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. Vox Machina season 2 flashback Boogaloo. Everybody got one, as it was like John and I hinted 2 weeks ago, because everybody was going to get like a little growth arc, a little spurt in season
So,
2.
you guys want to hear?
Some got a more complete.
I've got two
Sorry.
fun facts for you. So Pop, this guy, which that is again a great line, and delivery from Travis is so funny.
Grog
I
is
loved it
just the
so
greatest.
much.
I love
The
him.
voice of Pop is Henry Winkler. The
I
fawn.
saw that on my Amazon X-ray
I'm
info.
just like, I love it. I love it because I love Henry Winkler. He is such like the Fawns is a very distinct character.
I love him as this.
Nothing like the Fawns.
voice
He's just the most chilled, laid back, like. But
yeah, I never would
Real
have
well.
noticed that it was him if I didn't see his name.
I wouldn't have either. But like when I know it's him, I can hear that it's him, but I don't hear it's him until I know it's him, you know? But still. So hashtag, we're going to go on a side tangent for just a second. I play a lot of D&D. I'm a professional dungeon master. You should hire me to run your game if I'm not already doing it. But in one of my games, I needed the name of a halfling shopkeeper, and this was just like last Friday or something. I needed this character last week sometime, and I decided to name him Winkler and model him after the character from Vox Machina because he's too awesome. So there's a little halfling named Winkler in my game world now.
Is he also a Cutco distributor? That's all I need.
No, he's not. Although they have met.
Well, he should be.
He should be. If you're not, you should be. Anyway, these are D&D inside jokes. We need to get back to the main topic. Even John's not in on this.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Kartik actually knows who I'm talking about because he plays in that game. Winkler. Yep. Anyway, I digress. So you know what? We all agreed Vex is maybe our favorite character from this season. So let's talk about Vex maybe a little more in depth. There are a couple of big moments that I was just like, oh. And it is, okay, to me, the biggest one is when the cursed tree man thing who has the bow says, all you have to do is give me your heart. And it's just immediate. It's just immediate. No, I can't do that. Like, I literally already gave my heart away to somebody else. Can't give
Oh my
me.
God. And the reaction shot from Percy is everything. Like, just the eyebrows.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a
I love
romantic.
it.
You know, you guys know I'm a romantic, so I love that
Yeah.
moment.
Well,
And
they shortened
also,
the
and it's nice that, but for that moment, it's also good because you so often see this stuff kind of dragged out excruciatingly. Where
Mhm.
oh, is she maybe going to fall for this? And it's kind of cut shorter than you expect in this way. That no, this is a strong, woman. She's not going to give into this bullshit.
I can't
And she
tell you
very
how many
nearly does.
movie
But I
sections.
love that when that line is reached, it's like it's the immediate hard. What are you crazy?
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I'm telling you, the turning point was the title. The encounter with her father, and when Percy stood up for her and stood up to her father, that was really the turning point for her in the relationship. Um, and Vexalia is she puts on this hard outside exterior. Yeah, is a very strong woman, but she is also very vulnerable. She has a very
Mhm.
um, little girl vulnerability inside.
Hmm.
It's her Achilles heel that she's trying so hard to, protect herself from ever being hurt again.
She's hyper independent to the point of being detrimental to herself.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is really sad.
It is,
You
and
know,
just that moment is what changes everything in her paradigm. Because up until that point, it's just been she and her brother Vex, and they've had one another's back, and that was it. And this is the first time, and especially in an encounter with her father, whom she has such deep emotional scars from, that she has someone else there that can um, give her a bit of inner strength, you know, by their presence and their support, that she's able to finally step up for herself and step away from the hurt. And the little encounter with her younger sister, that was like those sweetest moments.
adorable.
The feather.
Hmm.
Oh, that was
And
Yeah.
you're just,
a
and of course, you're just waiting for the father to come in and ruin the moment, which of course he
yeah,
does.
yeah. I mean, Vax gave her that feather.
Yeah, my big sister gave me this.
Oh,
She's so cool. She's so cool.
she's so cool.
Yeah,
Oh, my heart broke.
yeah. But like coming to terms with her relationship with her father to some degree or other, as
Yeah.
well as like being a lot more honest with herself about her feelings for Percy, being a lot gentler with her brother about his feelings of needing
Feelings.
her, along with powering up by getting, I don't know, one of the freaking vestiges of calamity.
Vestiges of
You
the
know, like
divergence.
big level up. You know what? Big level up, Vex. And
Mhm.
here's the thing, there's more to come. There's always another level to level up to, which is part of the joy of
Yes, but let's not forget, like before she levels up with the bow, she levels up with her broomstick.
your oh yeah, brooms, and she looks so good flying around on it too.
Okay. There. Okay. I'm not even going to get into the
Vestiges
broomstick,
of the
but yes,
vestiges of divergence. Thank you, Matthew. I knew when I said it sounded not quite right, but yes, vestiges of divergence, not the calamity divergence. EXU
And
calamity deals with the divergence.
yes, and I do like
Anyway,
how as each one of the characters earns their vestige, so to speak,
all of
they're
them
each,
don't have one yet.
they don't have them yet, but the ones this season that have
Hmm.
have, have acquired them, they're all facing their inner demons to, in a way, find them, show themselves worthy of attaining this, powerful artifact. They have to face their inner demons. Vex, of course, she's mind whammied, and she's having to deal with everything right then and break free, symbolically breaking free from her father because my heart's already given. She, Grog having to face, his uncle and all that trauma and pain of his childhood, and even when Scanlan earned his, it was like, I have to show someone what their true love is, and that's something that he wrestles with too. So,
Which, by the way, I often don't necessarily call what's going to happen next, having not seen the original show, and Matt Mercer being really good at having fun and interesting plot twists, and as well as going down rabbit holes with his players. So, like, I never really know what to expect, but the moment we met what's her name, Kaylee? The moment we met Kaylee, I'm like, that's Scanlan's daughter. That's Scanlan's daughter. The nose, the eyes, that's Scanlan's daughter.
Can I just say, first of all, I did not see that coming because I was there was a whole bunch of stuff going on, and also I was thinking that it was the fact, like, I thought it was meant to be that people are starting to hear what Vox Machina has been doing, and their legend is kind of growing, and that's how she knew of him.
So that is part of it.
Yeah, but the thing was, when I went back today I didn't have time for a full rewatch, but I watched the last 5 episodes of season 2 today, and like, down to the cap that Scanlan is wearing, they are made to look almost exactly the same. So I really do feel like kind of an idiot that I didn't pick up on it immediately.
I mean, they're both gnomes, so there's going to be certain similarities because they're both gnomes, and you'll see the same similarities with Pike because Pike is also a gnome.
Yeah, but it's like the clothing and the cap being the same color as her hair. Like, they were definitely saying, look how similar these two look. So.
Right. Where I'll just say this was a major difference from how the two were introduced in the actual live play, where they didn't have the visual media to tie them, where you could just like, look at this. They were both, they met as Kaylee was singing in a tavern, and he heard her, and then, they
didn't meet in the tavern, did they?
Yes, they did. And she was on stage, and they had like a competition between the two of them.
Okay, but that was after they first met.
No, she's talking about the original.
Yeah, the live play.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's the one way that the live play diverged from the visual media, which because they were unable to show it that way. During live play, it was a lot easier to look at how similar they look, and how similar their stance, their mannerisms are, which you can't do that. Whereas the live play, it showcased how they were both bards, and they had very similar talents, and they were matched equally or nearly equally. So that was how they played off the similarities there. Sorry.
Can I say, when they eventually do play together in the show, catchiest song that I can never play out loud on speakers.
Right, exactly. Like, only gotta know who's around. We're not monetized. To hell with it. We're never gonna be monetized. Make the bald man cry. Just love it. Yeah, very funny. I kind of want to circle back to Vex for just a second, because she really did, like, truly, her character is, I mean, she's still Vex, but she feels like the leader of Vox Machina in a way she did not feel like even at the beginning of this season. Like, who's the leader? Well, we're all kind of co-leaders, and maybe Percy kind of took on a leadership position for a minute.
Yeah, but even like,
but that's because he was driving the story. But now it feels like Vex is the one that says now. When somebody screams now, it's Vex every time.
I don't know, because even back in season 1, and it's funny because this will be the second Star Wars comparison I've made, because I've compared Grog to Wrecker and the Bad Batch. But Vex, even in season 1, she reminded me of kind of filling that Hera role from Star Wars Rebels. Mm-hmm. She's sort of like the mother of the group, and it kind of felt that way to me even early on.
I mean, it felt like she was there, but I think her contentious relationship with her brother, her contentious relationship with Keyleth, her constantly downplaying Scanlan, like, kept her from being the true leader in season 1. Whereas in season 2, like, she still ribs Scanlan, but she doesn't second guess Keyleth anymore. And, like, she's really kind of made her peace with Vax having other people in his life. Literally tells Keyleth, don't let him get away.
Yeah.
Which that was a huge moment for Keyleth and Vex and Vax, which makes it one of those, like, and I love that it's just this quiet moment between those two women. And does it pass the Bechdel test? No, it does not. But that's okay in this instance because it passes for plenty of other things. You know what I mean?
Well,
but it's so sweet.
It's family.
When you understand the dynamics between all these characters, the fact that they are able to have that conversation at all is huge.
Yeah. I still think that it's more than just a conversation between two women. Yes, it is, but it's also family. She's accepting Keyleth as part of her family, and there's still a bit now. There's still a bone of contention now between Vax and Percy. That has yet to be resolved. So,
you got my sister killed, and now I'm bound to the goddess of death. So that he didn't stay dead. Like, there's repercussions to come. And here's the thing, like, I love that they downplayed Percy this season. He's going to come resounding back onto the center stage at some point next season in a way that we don't expect. Like,
that thread keeps being tied through this entire season. It wasn't until on my second rewatch that I read, that's Anna Ripley.
Yeah. Oh, did you not recognize Anna Ripley?
Right, because she was taking in a role that had previously kind of that plot line was done by.
I don't have the context of it being somebody else.
Right, Sean, who was the green dragon, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yes, all that interaction.
Yeah. Raishan is still out there. I know it.
Mm-hmm. So tying Anna Ripley in this early in season 2 is continuing the Whitestone plot line. Yay! Yay! Emotional damage.
I do feel like, and this is not it's more poking fun than an actual criticism, but I think we could suggest making a drinking game for every time Percy says we should go to Whitestone.
Yes. Well, I mean, Whitestone is like the key to the resistance. Right now they've got some.
And, like, it's his home. He's comfortable
there.
I know.
Now he is.
There's resources there that we have access to.
They got the nice invisibility screen. They got the shield wall up. It's great.
But it also feels like that's my home. I'm comfortable there. Let's regroup there.
What is this?
Well,
I mean, he is a Derolo after all.
If it was, let's go back to headquarters, it would be different,
No, let's go back to Whitestone.
But and Whitestone is headquarters, kind of, But you're right, it's funny, and even if it's a good idea, it might make a great drinking game anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever substance of choice you prefer.
Yeah.
Oh, you should do
Here's
that.
the thing. I would love for Vex to call me darling.
Oh, yes.
I think any of us would.
Yeah, see, I'm not going to ask for a drinking game for that because just her saying that is already going to make me feel drunk.
I'm in love.
And I like that they didn't leave Trinket out of this little flashback family scenes. His origin story is there too. So I thought that was a nice little homage that they gave the old, Trinky boy. And then how ironic that now he gets to live in a trinket around Vexalia's neck, which solved the problem with the Master Ranger.
Well, see, now we've finally stumbled upon the answer of where Ghost was all throughout Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was inside the locket.
Exactly.
Yes, and that was Jon Snow in the crypt with the Deathwalker ward on. That was him with the feathers. That was him.
Ugh.
Now we know.
You choked me with that one, John. You choked me.
So now I guess Vax is canonically Jon Snow's reincarnated emo boy self.
Okay. On that note, let's talk about her twin brother Vax, shall we?
Vex.
I mean,
no, when we were talking about the characters on one of the Zoom chats, I got it wrong. I called Vax.
Yeah.
And you guys corrected me on that. I'm like, oh, that's right.
On Vox Machina, it's easy to get Vex and Vax mixed up. I don't know what the Vux I'm talking about.
Wow.
Anyway, let's talk about Vax. Vaxildan.
It's
fun to say.
Yeah, for someone who could be,
for
a character that could be like as, let's be honest, he could end up being as dull as a doornail, but he got some great stuff this year. And
oh yeah, he had to give up his sister for her to live. They had that almost that choice moment, no chance and no choice, and it's like, hey, if you can take me, my sister being alive and happy is more important than me being anything. So, wow.
And I really like how it played with the the Maiden of Ravens. Is that what she's called?
Matron of Ravens, yeah.
Matron of Ravens. I knew it was something like that. Where it's like, and to be honest, it still is by the end of the season, but it's all played very ambiguous where you're like, what is this force that he's gotten mixed up with? And he thinks by the end he's got a handle on it, but does he?
No, he really doesn't.
They're all connected by the threads of fate. They have to be there. They have to. By the way, if you ever played in my homebrew game world in a setting or in a campaign called the Shards of Heaven, you're one of those people that has had fate pulling on you to be in the right place at the right time. So yeah, it's a trope that we use sometimes. Paul Atreides is that kind of character. He just has to be there. Aragorn is another kind of character like that. And really probably all the hobbits and everybody in the Fellowship had to be there.
I really enjoyed when I went back for my second viewing of the season, like catching that the matron was there at the very beginning of the
Mhm.
season and
Yeah.
showing that she's always been there. You
She's
know,
always
and-
been there. I mean, that's her purview, fate touched, pulling the weave.
I just remembered jumping now towards the end of the season. I just love that reaction when he comes out of the temple or whatever it is, all covered in the blood, and Vex is like, "What the fuck?" Sorry, we're not monetized.
No, yeah.
Ugh.
So great.
Yeah.
I would like to. Dan makes a good point. The Matron of Ravens is totally 100% not the same thing as the Raven Queen, who is owned by Wizards of the Coast. You are correct, sir.
100%.
She is a god of death and fate, and she likes ravens.
That's it.
But she is not the Raven Queen. She does not live the same place that a theoretical Raven Queen might live. Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of that. Like the thing with the eyeball that kept shooting weird tentacles everywhere, that was their replacement for a beholder, which is a floating orb
Eyeball.
with a big eye in it with this like eye stalks that shoot different magical effects at you. But it's a Dungeons and Dragons original monster. It's like they could. That's one of the serial numbers that they had to scratch off to make it not D&D. Was to take the beholder out.
I will say, just based off of a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing and hearing about, all that stuff, I'm actually glad that my knowledge of, well, first of all, D&D is kind of intermediate, shall we say, and all like enough to see the patterns of how everything's played out, and also that that I know nothing of the original campaign, because I like the fact that I'm just taking everything as it is in the show. It might be interesting for me later on down the line to go check it out, but I'm glad that I'm just able to watch the show for its own and not be like, ooh, they changed this or they changed that.
More or less my experience.
For once in Here Be Dragons history, I am the one who has watched everything. And John is coming to it.
And sometimes you're Percy. It was better in the books.
It was better in the books.
It
was better on the campaign.
Better in the books.
Oh, like I said, I watched the campaign. It was hundreds of episodes of 4-hour live play. It was a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot.
I can't do it. I can't watch live
I'm enjoying
play.
this quite a bit.
Well, what did I say last week? Not last week, but 2 weeks ago, Nessie. I was like, I'm noticing a distinct lack of shopping trips.
Oh. They paired out all the shopping trips just for you, John. Because let me tell you, Dexalia likes a deal, and that girl can get a deal.
Yeah,
I believe that.
You are negotiating for your healing potion.
I believe that, but I don't need to see it in the show.
You don't need to see it. Just take my word for it. Enjoy the pared downness of the episodes, because there was a lot of slog to get through.
And again, like, technically this is mostly in reference to season 1, but you weren't here 2 weeks ago, Stephen. So I just have to say, like, the door stuff has been killing me. It is hilarious, and I'm so glad that I get it.
Yeah.
Yes. John.
This isn't a door, it's a thing of evil.
Yeah, that door was definitely cursed. And then, of course, first time a door actually did something useful for us. Like, there were some good door gags.
Oh my God. Doors are
the first time they get really stuck, and they split the party, they get really stuck trying to break some in season 1, and Percy falls out of the window. Like, that made, because Percy is always like calm, cool, collected, oh, okay, my gun misfired, but like everything else, smooth, dexterous, like. But then he falls out of the window, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is D&D. This is D&D.
Oh yeah, they rolled some low numbers. Let me
Sometimes
just
you
tell
roll a
you right
one.
now. I mean, Vax had reliable talent by this point. He couldn't pick the lock.
Well, the fact, like, that would have been funny to me either way,
There were
but the
so many
fact,
ones rolled in that
but the
encounter.
fact that I like had the experience of rolling, you know, repeated ones, like that just
The
added
bowstring.
another layer of hilarity to it. So I'm glad I had that.
Yes, I will never forget when John rolled a 1 and his bowstring broke in half.
And I remember you were like, you were almost ready to quit, and I'm like, calm down, it'll be fine.
What do I do with it now? Hit him with it?
like you'll restring it between fights, but this fight, you know, you just need to.
Like, I gotta use a sword. Okay. But
Yeah, exactly. Your friend
Yeah.
Rowan, played by Kate, just cast a spell on it and fixed it. But it was, I remember in the moment you were like, wait, what?
That can happen?
Like, and the thing is,
Classic.
you while watching Vox Machina, you can really see that come across. But it also is there at a point where they've leveled up enough where, like, they don't have these massive blunders the way they used to. They're leveled up a good bit, and then like, man, when you get a vestige, like, I'm sitting here going, how do I make the Raven Guard? You know, what as a dungeon master, what do I think those stats look like? Or like the Gundiva bow, whatever Vax's bow is, or the gauntlets of like super punching. I forget what they're all called.
The Titan Stone Knuckles.
Titan Stone Knuckles. There you go.
Made from real Titan.
Sorry, I just keep having like random lines pop into my head that I'm just going to go and continue to mention. I love when Vax, you know, is carrying Scanlan. He's got the wings and he lands, and Vax goes, you know, I get a broomstick and you get fucking wings.
And that's the thing, man. Twins. With the twins. Oh, the rivalry is so delicious. But yeah, at this time in like the actual campaign, they were all up into double digits or more and multi-classed into multiple things. So they were really they got their good junk. They'd killed a dragon or two, you know.
Yeah, they're definitely leveled characters at this point.
Oh yeah.
And you know, they're obviously facing. They're the only ones who probably can face the larger threats that they're facing now.
They're trying to save the world, man. You know, you level up pretty quick like that. But it was a unique when I thought this was unique. I'm sure maybe other DMs have done this before, but when the vestiges were introduced into play, it was kind of Matt Mercer's idea of, I'm going to give a character something nice, and then as they grow, so does this nice magic weapon, so that when it finally goes, they've been through the ringer with it and have definitely earned it.
They achieve their final form. And
exactly.
You see that with the Raven Guard, because at the beginning of the Vax gets it pretty early on. And it's badass, you know, he's super fast and dodgy and like, ooh, he's hard to hit and he's super quick and he looks rad doing it.
Yeah.
And then
I think like bestowed haste or something.
Like, after his level up moment, he gets the wings, which is like, and falling through the sky, just so perfect. The timing of it, and the shot. Oh, I love this show, guys.
You didn't see that coming, did you? Or did you? Did you see it coming? I mean, I knew it was
coming. You know, I didn't see it coming until they were falling through the sky. But once that happened, I'm like, oh, I know what I'd do. Oh, yeah, that's what I'd do. Mine might have been like, yellow glowing, not real ethereal wings or something, or shadowy wings. But like, yep, that's it. Wings. That's the answer.
Straight up.
In your moment of greatest need, and that is like, yeah, it's good storytelling. It's fun.
Yeah, and I mean that's really the moment where Vax just kind of like, I'm in your hands. You know, he kind of made his full commitment with the Matron of Ravens, you know, and just kind of like gave up in a way, but gave up all of the stressing about it. He's like,
Yeah,
okay, this is
everybody,
what
we're all gonna die. Like the I can't fight fate no matter what I do.
yeah, and that leap
You can't
was,
stop gravity.
I mean, the leap of faith, you know. So that was, yeah, that was a very high moment for, you know, for Vax this season to, and when he, you know, he leveled up. We're gonna be saying that a lot, I think, as this story progresses.
But it makes sense in the context of what we're talking about, to talk about
Absolutely.
leveling up, because they
Leveling
literally are.
Yeah, the fact that every time one of these things happened, that in my head I said, "Oh, they're leveling up." So it's all thanks to you, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Here's the
Well, I
thing,
think
like,
it's kind of entered into the lexicon anyway through, you know, gaming culture and other things as well. So it's not just particular to D&D, but
the
everybody.
reason the show is so great is because they take the best 5% of an already really great game with really great players, and then put really great animation over it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, a season of this is probably 100 hours of content condensed down into 12, 20 odd minute episodes, about 5 hours of content, you know?
See, Nessie,
115 episodes, 4 hours each. So that's 460 hours of live play.
And Nessie,
and more, at least 200 of it was chopping.
Nessie, more power to you. I just don't have the patience for all that.
I don't either.
I know. I mean, I made the commitment, man, and I had to start. I had to start from the beginning. I did. I couldn't just jump in anywhere. I had to start the story for me from the beginning, because when I started it, campaign 2 was underway, and I didn't know. I thought, oh, maybe campaign 2 is a continuation of campaign 1. I didn't know there was a whole cast of new characters, so I'm like, I got to start at the beginning. And then by the time I found out, I'm like, oh, well, I'm committed. I'm committed now, and I can't watch 2 shows, 4 hours of live play. So, anyway, but I fell in love with these chuckleheads, you know.
And they are all a bunch of knuckle draggers in a lot of ways. Even Percy, who is the most refined, he can't read the room sometimes. Like how he's got the room full of half giants and he's explaining about counterweights and
I just want one,
like, dig here, gotcha.
I just want one person in the room to say, Percy, look at your audience.
Right. Oh, it's so funny. But like, that's funny too. And yeah, so even Percy is a doofus sometimes.
Percy dumped his charisma score, is all I'm saying.
You know what they should have done? They should have gone to Whitestone.
They should have gone to Whitestone. They'd only gone to Whitestone. Oh, no, that's right. They were in Whitestone. But we're coming right up to the halfway point. So
okay. Seems as good a time as any to do a mid-roll.
Yeah.
I'm going to start this mid-roll with the patrons this time because I love you guys. You guys are keeping my electricity on right now. Please become a patron if you're not already. We would really appreciate it. Right now, this is kind of like one of my few income streams. My other one is being a dungeon master. Hire me to be your dungeon master. More game information coming soon. I'm on startplaying.games. You can find me as Here Be Dragons on startplaying.games. I bet Reflective Rambling is scrambling to find that link as we speak because I know how she does. If she's still in the chat, I guarantee you she's grabbing it right now and dropping it in the chat.
Because Cassie
If
be
she's
like
not
that.
here, I still love you, Cassie. You're an amazing human being, and I hope you come back and listen to this later and don't feel bad about not being here. Anyway, yeah, so, but yeah, our patrons are Ridiculous Ed Tollett, who was in the stream earlier and didn't stay because he hasn't watched the show, but still wanted to pop in and give a like. Thanks, buddy. We love you. You are our alpha patron, and I will love you until you commit a felony. Then no more.
That's fine.
There is a line. Let's be real. You know what? Depends on the felony. We'll talk.
Depends on the felony.
Right. She was here and she was looking for the link. Thank you, buddy. I knew. I just knew.
I knew you had it.
Yeah. But I also got to say thank to our other Great Worm patron, Lord John Bronsteen the Wise. Thank you, Great Worms. You are the greatest among dragons, and we owe you our undying love and affection.
Yep.
Slightly lesser in power than those are the elder dragons of the realm, including the Cloaked One of the Underworld, Ryan Stavka, the Russian Quartermaster, Reflective Rambling, who I just said their name just a minute ago, but yeah, thank you, Kathy. We love you. Arch-Maester Emma, Kate, Mistress in a House of Books, who's in the chat right now. I saw you earlier, Kate. Jared Kozal, Doctor of Dragons, Lady Maura Lee of Starfall, and Lady Rita the Unbound. Thank you, Elder Dragons. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, so if you want to join our wacky crew of people and keep the conversation going throughout the week, you can just send me an email to we3dragons@gmail.com and I will add you to our Slack group. We are always hiring and we only fire you if you're an asshole. So don't be an asshole. You won't get kicked out. Come join us. We have channels for every kind of nerdy topic. Play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. We watch. There's feel-good movie watch parties. We organize. We have a Sunday morning coffee club. I got up this morning and had coffee with some friends, and it was great.
Book club.
Book club. About to start a new book, I think. Yeah. So just come and hang out and.
All kinds of gaming.
Yeah, all kinds of gaming, all kinds of nerdy pop culture stuff. Very nerdy, very nerdy.
Get your nerd on with us.
D&D. Okay, which leads me to the next thing. We talk about lots of stuff here, and we usually like to take this time to talk about what we're going to talk about, what we're going to talk about later. So, John, Nessie, what are we talking about in the future?
I'm sure the Mandalorian is going to be on the list somewhere.
The Mandalorian probably once it's done for the season. I'm not sure how many episodes it has. 12, maybe?
No. 8.
8. Okay, so 8. So it'll be a few weeks, but yeah, okay, a couple months.
Yep, you got to get that in.
Got to get some Mando. I've seen the one episode. I liked it. I would like to do Last of Us. It's got 2 more episodes, one tonight and one next week, and it comes out, of course, after us, so we'd have to do it 2 weeks from now at the earliest. I don't know if either one of you care about that, but that's a show I really want to talk about.
I haven't been watching it, so
you both are. Yeah. Oh, you were frozen. I thought you were staring at me blankly, like. But no, you were literally frozen. It's funny.
But we got 2 weeks of
Yeah.
maybe.
So that leads me to our question, John. Is there something you would like to talk about next week?
Nothing new, unless you want to do another retro review. We're always good for that.
We could. But there's a thing that I kind of want to try, but I'm sure you would not be interested in it because it's D&D crap.
You always do D&D crap when I'm off.
Yeah, because John always because when you're here, John wants to be here.
Of course he does, because I'm delightful.
Right.
But see, but also
This is as close to D&D as John's going to get. I get it.
Mhm.
exactly.
And I am treasuring this moment with you,
Steven,
John.
you say I may not like it, but I also enjoy occasional weeks off, so I wouldn't turn like that.
Right? I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it would be a D&D inspired thing. It would be some world building, live world building.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Like map drawing?
Yes,
ASMR map drawing?
exactly what I'm thinking about.
If you guys haven't had ASMR map drawing, you don't know what you're missing.
I use a map making app, website, whatever. I've gotten pretty good at it, and I have a lot of maps to make. And what better way to combine my dungeon mastering job with my streaming job than to stream about dungeon mastering?
I think
Because I need to make the maps anyway.
you're going to love it, guys. You're going to love this.
ASMR map making session 1 is one of the things I'm thinking about doing. Now, I still think it would be nice to have someone on to talk to. But John, if that's not you, I think I have other people I can ask to do that. There's a lot of people that can come on and talk and will care. They will care. So
there's a few DMs that would probably like to talk world building with you. I know a couple of good ones. They can
map making would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Especially
we're gonna
world.
What do you think? Just assume that that's what I'm going to do next, because I'm going to do a map making stream, and then 2 weeks from now, I don't know, but it could be The Last of Us. If you guys wanted to, I have loved that show.
Zombie apocalypses aren't really my thing.
I get it, but it's not. Look, zombie apocalypse is not my thing either. This show is fantastic.
3 episodes, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
that's the rule.
Do that.
That's the rule.
Do that. If you don't like it after 3 episodes, you should hang it up. And we're also never talking to each other again, because you have no culture. You have no taste. You're a uncultured swine.
Well.
So
nice to know you, Steve.
A lot is riding on this, Nessie.
Steven, I got a list of stuff that I can throw in your face if.
Okay, but what you don't understand is that my standards are double. So. Yeah.
Here I was supporting you in your ASMR map making foray. I can't believe it. You would betray me like this.
You know what? No, I'm not. If you don't like it, I will be genuinely surprised if you don't fall in love with the show.
But I said, it's just one of those.
It's just one of those. It goes beyond its genre. The same way people say Andor was Star Wars, but outside the thing that Star Wars normally does. This feels like a zombie apocalypse outside the thing that a zombie apocalypse normally does.
Okay, well, we'll just see how my anxiety handles it. And we'll
I don't know.
That might. That show will stress you out. They do tension extremely well.
Okay, can I say 2 things? One, I'm really not sure if I'm going to be able to squeeze that into my view. And 2, even if I was prepared to, Steven, I gave you Arcane.
You did.
I gave you Vox Machina.
You did.
You just keep.
What?
What would you like to stream about?
Yes, to my friends to watch? Oh no! What a terrible person I am that I keep finding really excellent media to share.
All right, John. What do you got? 2 weeks.
You know what, John? If you don't want to, that's fine. I can find people that do.
We'll see.
Push it a month to give you more time. That would be fine. We don't have to be on top of everything. Vox Machina ended 3 weeks ago? That's fine. If you want to watch but you need more time, that's great. We'll do something else.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So,
But
and if anybody has any suggestions about what they would like to see, hit us up in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter.
Dan, I will say I haven't played the video game. Don't care. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary for watching the shows.
Anyway. So yeah, even during the mid roll, we got off the rails.
Kate saying what we're all thinking.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, some of us are completionists, and that's how we roll. So I kind of understand, Dan. You gotta get all the context.
The point of a good adaptation is you don't need to know the source material.
Well, I wouldn't say that either.
You don't. No, it doesn't make it pointless, but you don't need to know the source material if the adaptation is done well. It's probably helpful, good even, but if it's a good adaptation, you don't need
do it
the same way. Like, I don't need to have watched the tabletop campaign. John, you don't need. I mean, it is adding to your experience to know some things about D&D, and probably adding to mine in a much greater way, given that my brain lives in D&D land a lot of the time. But like, you could still enjoy this show having never played a lick of Dungeons and Dragons in your life. It's a good adaptation. Dune, good adaptation. Haven't read the books.
Very good.
Doesn't matter. Fantastic movie that's getting across a lot of the high-minded ideas very subtly. All right, you know what? Let's
the difference being reading the Dune book will take a lot less time than watching the entire tabletop game.
You're not wrong. But anyway, shall we? Something in my eye. Shall we move back to Vox Machina and pick another character? So we talked about the twins at length already, and kind of like the top-down view. And as we lead back in, I just want to say something that I mentioned earlier and didn't get to expound on. The 3D creature effects worked so well for the Sphinx's otherworldliness that like it was almost breathtaking how alien they felt because of that drastically different art style, and I loved it.
Yeah, I like the way they portrayed both of the Sphinx, and they're so different but so magical. It was amazing.
Just side note to the people watching the stream, I'm not like losing my mind, okay? The reason why I keep putting my finger up towards my face is I'm not wearing my glasses today, and I'm so used to doing that. No, anyway, as far as as far as the animation goes, I don't know, like it worked for me, and it worked better this season than in season one, but I'm not quite as effusive about it just because that's not. It's just when I've got so much breathtaking hand-drawn animation on display, I'm not gonna love the CG stuff. It's just
right. That's fine. That's fair.
Mean, it's a purple. I mean, look at the purple foot, John.
Okay, but that's hand-drawn still.
I know. It's just. It makes up for it in other areas, John.
Yeah.
You get so much of this.
Like, I just love the alienness that it gives to those monstrous creatures. They feel so other because their animation style is so drastically different, you know? I think that's and that's a take it or leave it. I fully recognize that some people may
I mean, like, it's well done, and I understand why they did it for like financial reasons, you know, but I mean, as far as the whole, what it achieves of differentiate. I mean, I just as well see the hand-drawn animation, but I understand the reasons, why it was more practical. Like I said, it's well done. It's the issue I really had was with season 1 because it kind of took me out of it because I felt like it wasn't up to par, with like the quality of the 2D animation. I noticed that there seemed to be like with season 2 they up their game and it at least like even though it looked different obviously from hand drawn, still the quality level was
Well,
up
that's
higher.
the
So
difference. That's the difference between being funded by Kickstarter and then being
yeah,
funded by
By
Amazon
Amazon?
Productions.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
It's
not
apples
wrong.
and oranges. So yeah. But we haven't
Those
talked
bucks go a long
any,
way, don't they?
yeah. We have, speaking of the monsters, we really haven't talked much about the other main characters in this season.
Yeah, and really
You
we
know,
should. We eyrie about the twins a lot
Henry would kill us if we did not talk about the
yeah.
on a show
Yeah,
about.
but
Well, look.
and
Oh, no, John, please. I just
no,
remembered
I
something,
was
but
just
no,
gonna
but please, you go.
I was just gonna say I might end up getting like death threats from Sanry now. I have nothing against like dragons, and the dragons are very well done, like they're menacing, all that stuff. But when you're coming from season 1 and having the Briarwoods as your villains, the dragons just aren't,
They're not as sexy, that's for sure.
They're not as sexy. They're not as sexy.
they're,
I was
they're
They
more
took
plot
the
device.
sexy actually. They took the sexy out of the dragon because of the change with the green dragon actually. So
They do feel more like plot devices than like fully interesting characters. Although I will say on like my second viewing, what's the
Ryshawn, the green dragon.
no
John was actually the architect.
The white dragon?
No, the green dragon.
No, hold on. John, which one are you talking about?
the one who was after Vox Machina the whole season.
Umbrasyl,
the black dragon.
The black.
Yeah, like I did appreciate like the what his character was kind of up to, like on my second and third viewing. So I got more out of it. But yeah, I don't know. They like did what the story requires of them to do. I feel like this season was much more about our main characters than the threat they were up against, even though that's what moves the story along. But the heart of it was what's going on with these characters and their interpersonal relationships.
Do you want to know something fun? My favorite D&D dragon is it's not true, but my rising star of my D&D dragons is the green one because they're just the most they screw with everything. And dude, that's Ryshawn just sort of like fades into the background and you forget about them.
Right now,
but like I noticed a child with green eyes, and I'm like, I know a green dragon in a polymorph state when I see one. Like, don't get it twisted. The blue-eyed general was the blue dragon. Green-eyed kid's the green dragon, and she's crafty, and she's the one that I'm really interested in.
You should be, Stephen.
But she's also very subtle. Although I will say, the white one,
Vorgal. Yeah, Vorgal.
First of all, freezing people to death with these icicles that shoot through them and then freeze their blood inside the ice was, from an animation standpoint, I'm like, wow. Just visually horrifying to watch people be stabbed and frozen at the same time. very nicely done because I
Very
was
well done.
horrified.
Yes.
And also, great voice work by Liam O'Brien, Vax himself. And I also love the design of that dragon in particular.
Oh yeah.
Because its wing shape is from wingtip all the way to its tail. It's more of a kite kind of
Yeah.
shape
It's
rather
got
than
the feet.
just wings. It's got
Mhm.
I love the design of that dragon.
Yeah. All of them have like a different design. You know, they're very unique um, in the way that they flesh them out, so to speak. And so far, I mean, each one of the like these are chaotic evil dragons, okay? They're coming together. We're the Chroma Conclave. We're going to rule the world, right? And each one of them has their own stinking agenda. And just getting, peeks into the how their own little subplots and all are playing out and playing right into Vox Machina's hands in a way it's just, yes, they are a plot device, and yes, they are um, yes, a means to an end, a way of the heroes proving themselves worthy, what have you, by defeating these things. But they at least are giving them their own like very distinct personalities and end goals and machinations to make them a bit more interesting than they would be.
I mean, I guess I want to see more of them individually next season because, and maybe
Yeah.
this is part of this is the fact that I'm only familiar with the show and not with the original thing. A bunch of them seem to kind of blend together for me. Like I'm not exactly sure who's who. Like I obviously know who Umbrasyl is because he's the one who's pursuing them, Vox Machina, throughout the season, and I know that Thordak is voiced by the great Lance Reddick, and that's how I single him out. And then there's the dragon who,
there's four. There's only four.
There's only four now. There were five. Now there are only four.
Then there were five. They killed one, the blue one, in season 1. Then you've got the red one, which is the fire guy,
Thordak.
Then you've got the black one, which is Umbrasyl, the one chasing Vox Machina all season. You've got the green one, who is the trickster and the deceiver, Raishan. And then you've got the white one, Voragal, who is Ice Breath and probably Thordak's attack dog.
Okay, yeah, I don't even remember that one. So,
well, he's the one.
He freezes people to death at the beginning, and at the end, he's talking with Thordak after Umbrasyl has died. It's like one of the last ones. Because it's literally now that Umbrasyl is dead, there's only 3. Thordak, the green one, and the white one. That's it. And the green one you haven't seen since she disappeared halfway through the season.
Or did you?
Yes,
just keep... I'm just saying.
I think she's in Whitestone, pretending to be a little girl.
Well, see, and this is the thing: the fact that I wasn't even sure, like, how many of them there were. And
so, like, 4. Like, there were very distinctly 4 coming in.
You saw the last episode.
And I understand that maybe, like, you don't necessarily know that that's all there is. It really has been just 4 the whole time.
Okay.
You did see the last episode, right?
Yeah.
Where she revealed herself.
Yeah. I don't know which one that is, though.
Like that she's hiding as a little girl somewhere. I'm like, what? No, she's not. She's been that's how she got there. But
yeah.
What is it? Yenin, the priest. Remember? Keeper Yenin. That's who she pretended to be there for the meeting. She revealed herself.
Oh yeah, but like. Okay, I got what you're saying.
She's in Whitestone. She's been in Whitestone.
Yeah, she's been in Whitestone, but she's I guess it. I didn't get all the way to the end. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. That was a big spoiler, Stephen. If you hadn't watched it all the way to the end, I'm like,
on a rewatch, I didn't get all the way to the end. I did.
Okay.
That was a big reveal.
I was like, no, I don't. I do remember the Keeper Yen in disguise now.
I was
Yeah.
like, what
But,
do you
yeah,
mean
you
you
are
didn't
correct.
finish
Don't get it
it?
twisted. I watched them the morning they came out. Every one
Okay.
of them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm awake and it's
You.
Vox Machina day. Time to watch 3 episodes in a row. Leave me alone.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, you are absolutely correct. I mean, she did sneak into the city as one of the refugees.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, and has just been hiding out there the whole time. You know, learning. Oh, Garmelia, yeah, yeah. But that's their trip to the. We did talk about that. We
We,
talked about
we we mentioned that he is voiced by Billy Boyd. We didn't really talk about Garmelie because I feel like trying to say what I think I know is going to be a spoiler anyway.
Yeah. It was an Easter egg that we talked about. Even I haven't watched campaign 2, but them putting that particular Easter egg in was very nice foreshadowing, because I know about that particular character, Garmelie.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just got a kick out of because obviously Dominic Monaghan did the voice in season 1, and now Billy Boyd is, and seemingly looks like might be a really important character,
I mean, my speculation, he's a god. He's the god of
Let
luck, or he's a trickster god.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah, that's
That's what I
he's
think.
yeah, right. hmm
but
Yeah, he's got a name in the second um, campaign, I think.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
okay? You want me to say it?
yeah. There's a certain blue, sort of blue tiefling that is a cleric of a certain trickster god who likes to talk about traveling and stuff. And like, I didn't pick it up the
Mhm.
first time, but my second watch through, I did. I was like,
Yeah,
wait a
but it's
minute.
just one of those things. Yeah, if you know, you know, and if
If
you
you know,
don't
you know.
know, you just assume, oh, that person was just in disguise
But
as
like,
this little critter.
God or not God, he's still more than he appears, even before he
More than
reveals
you
he's more than he appears in his more powerful
Mm,
form. You know.
right,
I will say,
100%.
like, it always throws me for a loop when I hear, like, some, in this case, Billy Boyd, like, saying all this, a lot of, this dirty-minded little creature. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I'm hearing Pippin's voice. Pippin wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. Apparently, Matthew is having his mind blown by the
Yes.
connection I just made, and I'm like, tell me I'm wrong. I'm at the table like Garmelie is the
hmm
redacted. Change my mind.
Redacted. Yes, 100%. I'm 100%. That is correct.
Yeah.
But no,
I told
I
you they're eating things.
Right.
but no,
Like,
Big.
and again, I didn't quite catch it the first time, but like
Mhm.
the second time through, I was like, wait a minute.
Wait. hmm Yeah.
oh wait, there was a line that there's something in the background that character says to it's after they've gone through the whole thing with the
hmm
father and God, what does he say? He's says, oh, the line is, and it's sort of off camera too. I think it's to Vax, where he's like, so when why aren't your ears as long as your father? Knowing that he was there for the entire time, he knows exactly why the ears are so long. He's been privy to every detail of this family drama. He's doing it he's asking that just to be a dick.
hmm Oh,
It's so
100%.
great.
Yes.
as a trickster ought.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct. The proverbial shit posting.
Yes. Like shit posting IRL.
Okay, we got 35 minutes. We have got to talk about Grog.
Grog.
Strong
Yes,
Jaw.
I was literally thinking about this.
Strong jaw.
Where does your strength come from?
Oh my God!
Shaker Groon. Oh my God, the best monk. I swear.
Like,
I love
okay, Vexalia may have been my favorite character of the season, but Grog had the best story of the season.
Yeah.
Like, it was just phenomenal. And two episodes in particular. The episode where we get all the flashbacks to him, being part of the
herd.
what's it called? The herd. And then the episode that follows with the big fight. Like, those two episodes together represent like some of my favorite storytelling like in a while. Like, it's up there. Like, it's just so good. Like, when you get to the end of the first part of that, and he says and he screams out Kevdak, and remember me. And it's so good. And which, by the way, Kevdak is voiced by the actor's name is
Ralph Ineson. I've literally got the whole cast list in front of me. Ralph Ineson,
who has done a number of things. One, he was in Game of Thrones. He played Dagmar in season 2, but also he was in the film The Green Knight. He played the Green Knight, and he also did the voice in Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance of the Hunter. The one who's like goes after Rian in that show, and he's very aggressive Stexes, and his voice is actually quite similar in that to this, because I think I recognized it in this. He does such a great job, and he's despicable in this as well. But no, I loved it, and then building up to my strength comes from my friends. It's too bad they weren't able to save you. Well, that's the thing. I got more. Vox Machina. Fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And
so
direct
good.
quote, by the way.
And honestly,
direct quote, by the way, of the great Travis Willingham.
And honestly, like, the moment right before that where it's like Percy, Vex, Vax, Keelan, and like that kind of hero shot of the room. I'm just like, I'm getting chills right now because it's so good. Like, they look so good. They were right place, right time. Like, that's what D&D is about. That feeling of like, we pulled it off.
Well, and it's such a great moment because throughout the show thus far, you've had moments of everybody, they come together, but there has always been this sort of, this person, like, they're not getting along with this person, and there's this, fractures in the group that kind of materialize. And in that moment, they're all united as one. And it's so beautiful, and it's so like fist pumping, it's just great. And I do want to say something that comes like a couple minutes before that, what you were mentioning about the monk, and where does your strength come from? I just love when Grog is like, what strength? Can't you see how weak I am? Just that, like, that admission. It's just like, for a character like Grog, who's just been on, he's so, he's the strong character, and he's full of bravado, and just to see that moment of, weakness and fragility from him, it's just, it's beautiful. And then to see him come back from that and to embrace, why he's actually strong, it's.
And who is taking care of him but these tiny little gnomes, just like when he was a kid and was dead, and he goes, and the the smallest among them are giving him the most, love and support. And it's just relying on, he remembers his roots, relying on his tiny little friends. And so, being so wise, and they might not be as, physically strong like he is, but, you've got Pike, who's like little pickle, man. She has got, she's like the group's heart and guidepost that they're just a really, I want to see more of the relationship between Pike and Grog, because they are like buddies, like they've been together for so long. That's his little sister, that's her big brother.
I think it's just so adorable that that her nickname for me, isn't just, it could just be Buddy, but it's Buddies,
Buddies, plural.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pop, I effed up. That's how many times, going home to that's Grog's family now. That's the family he chose.
What's up, Pop Pop? What's up, Pop Pop? What's up?
Let's just say the cure that he made up was horrible. Like, I don't think I can swallow it. You're not supposed to.
It's like, how's he gonna do that? He doesn't have enough strength. Oh, and then Stanley's like, oh, hold on. Lots of experience here.
Well, considering how they made it inside the dragon, I guess he knew his way around.
I also love that he's like, I hunger. Thanks, stomach. I am kind of hungry. Or,
oh my God, I know.
Like, he's so dumb. He's just so dumb. But then, like, the breaking of the sword and like, the finding of his true strength. And the idea of, like, I know it comes from my heart. Boom. Wrong. And it doesn't even come up from, your real strength. It doesn't come from standing up for the little guy, which is what he thought. No, it came from the little guy standing up with you.
For him, yeah.
That's where your real strength comes from. And I kind of love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this earlier too. What I like about the stuff earlier on in the season with the sword and the fact that Pike sees him like being really brutal with, all these enemies, and then, but what that's actually doing, it's kind of setting the stage for what she's going to hear from him about who he was in the past. That he was that person who was, and not just doing that towards, like quote unquote villains, but against innocent people.
Small folk, just like she is, or her family was, because that's how they met when he was raiding their village. But yeah, that's symbolically breaking the old ties with, the giving up, breaking the sword. It was so symbolic of what his past was, and his past had come back. That's good, great catch, John. And then he never really dealt with it. Like, yes, he turned away from that lifestyle, but he never confronted. He never confronted it. He ran away from it.
And that really struck a chord with me, because I think we can all identify with that, where he says, Pop knew not to ask. It's like we all have those things that, kind of parts of, our past where we just prefer not think about that thing that we either did or the thing that happened, and let's just bury it down. And he's tried that for years and years. And it's in this moment where he's like, I've got to actually confront this.
Yeah, he knew from the moment that there was, they said those Titan stone knuckles were necessary. I mean, he's known for a while that it was, He was going to have to confront his uncle because he knew right where. I mean, of course, I know exactly where they are. They're on my uncle. He killed me with them. So yeah, that's a lot of. I mean, he's been running from his past his whole life.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, so good.
Yeah, I love how you can take a character who with like a 6 intelligence score, a really dumb character, doesn't get it,
Like, can't read.
Give him a compelling arc where he does learn and grow. Like, kudos to Matt Mercer for making that happen. Kudos to Travis Willingham for making that happen. Also, I can't help it. I went to get a drink, which is why and then when I walked through the kitchen, I noticed these cheesy garlic bread lays, and I just had to I have this what the heck is this moment. So you're about to get a verdict on cheesy garlic bread lays. Do you like Lay's potato chips?
I cannot condone Lay's potato chips.
They smell good. What's wrong with Lay's?
They're not Utz.
They're not Utz. Or Cape Cod, which is my other favorite. So.
Oh, I have Cape Cod ones. I have sea salt and vinegar Cape Cod ones right now, but
cracked black pepper.
No, I will say the thing with Grog's intelligence, like the one thing that had me kind of shake my head, really, dude, is when he's having these really he's talking like someone who he's going through all this emotional depth and really seeming like someone who knows a few things, who's seen some stuff. And then he has the moment where they ask him, how many exactly are in this horn? He's like, well, nobody ever really kept, a count.
Accurate count.
I once heard somebody say, hundreds? Is that a lot? Come on, really?
Yeah. Well, he didn't dump his wisdom score, so that's important to know. That's the difference between your 6 intelligence and maybe your 10 wisdom.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
But God, I love him. He's so great.
God. Yeah. And gosh, Travis Willingham plays that character so well. So well. He does such an excellent job.
And throughout season 1, the character, I liked the character quite a bit because he's lovable, he's he's fun to root for, he's that archetype of the strong guy who's also he's a doofus,
lovable doofus.
But there was he had so much emotional depth this season and went through so much and earned every beat of his story and then when Vex drops him from that great height and he has to go strong jaw and oh my god,
it was a beautiful moment. It was
so good.
It was a beautiful moment.
Travis is actually a very smart man.
Very smart.
Yeah.
When they formed a company, he is the CEO of Critical Role. He's the business boss. And I've often heard it said you have to be, as an actor, you have to be really smart to play really stupid. I've heard that before. You've probably heard that before. And he's and he is dunk the lung thick as a castle wall. But he's good heart. I mean, he definitely if he's trying to kill you, zero compunction, you're dead.
Yeah, but now he wouldn't just kill you if you just
he uses his violence for good.
He still got some anger management problems, but he got some anger issues. But
I will say I was so happy because when they introduced, and actually I guess they introduced it at the very end of season 1, but the thing with the sword, like I saw where they were going with that at the start of the season, and then I'm like, I was kind of almost on the verge of being slightly disappointed because I'm like, well, we had the thing with Percy last season where, like, with the gun and the fact that, it was kind of taking over him. So we didn't see a similar thing with Grog this season. But what was great was that only took us to the halfway point of the season with his arc. And it was like laying foundational groundwork for what the real meat of his arc was going to be. And I just could not have been more pleased with where they took his story. It just great.
They told it so well. And that was a thing. He had this fantastical weapon in his mind. This is great. We need this in this battle to come. So he reluctantly didn't want to part with it at first, or he was glad he got it at first, but then not failing, he didn't get his charisma check or whatever. He failed his saving throw, and it was a lot harder for him to give up. But his love for his love for his family and his was what finally was able to break the control over that. That's when he cast it aside for love of Pike, love of his family,
for his friends. I mean,
friends.
And that's the thing. Like, he and Pike were always close, but Pike was already captured. I think about my friends. I've got more of them, And then fuck shit up. But yeah, so like Pike was already there. He really has got on another level with the rest of them. Mitchu points out that Travis seems like an amazing guy in general. You're not wrong. Like, he really does. And he married Laura Bailey, so he did something right.
Yeah.
So he is who Vexalia's heart really belongs to.
Really belongs to, yeah. Somebody memed that. Like something perfection. I said Vexalia's real love.
But yeah, he always talks with such, like Travis Willingham talks with such genuine affection about his wife and kid. But it's not like, my personality is loving my wife, because that's a red flag, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. But he does appear to just genuinely love his wife, on top of being a big dumb idiot who is also a CEO of a company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd like to hang out with him, I'd like to hang out with these people. They would be great. Critical Role, come play D&D with us. Okay.
Okay, so we're running out of time. Scanlan
gets
told by Osista, nobody cares about you. Why should I?
Oh my God, that was just.
And he gets, come on, G.
Yeah, that her mate.
Like, with a genuine, like Scanlan had his level of moments this season too.
Oh, that's just that whole story point right there, where he sings the song, plays the song, and then gets the Sphinx, to crying. Like, that was just, I loved seeing that kind of stuff with Scanlan this season, just because, I mean, granted, he brings a lot of it on himself, but he is, kind of, he's often being, like, being made light of, and, by the others. And it's like, it was just great to see him genuinely step up when he needed to this season. And he even gets like the big, kill the dragon with the, with the magic sword moment, which is great.
I mean, yeah,
It's
let's
really
face it.
crafty too. But yeah, you see all of this stuff coming full circle for him, where he still defaults to that, like, oh, I'm good. You want me to put on my naughty nurse outfit? And like,
Right. He
he's
hides.
like, and that broke the moment with her because it was genuine, and then
Yeah.
it made it not genuine.
And then
Yeah.
he immediately regrets that.
Mhm.
You know, it's just great to see that because it's a barrier that he puts up between him and everybody else, so that he's not actually being what's the word I'm looking for,
Genuine,
Genuine.
but also
vulnerable.
There you go.
Yeah. He is so much like Vex as any of the others in the party. He puts that armor on, that lovable clown armor on,
Mhm.
that, the life is a joke, nothing is serious. If I don't really care about anything, I can't be hurt. Kind of mentality to face the world with, because somewhere in his heart he is deeply, deeply lonely and just wants one person to love him genuinely for himself.
But the thing is,
He
he
doesn't.
doesn't like. He's that guy that has to learn that in order to get that, he has to stop sabotaging it on the way.
Right.
He has to
Right.
allow it to happen.
Exactly. And a lot of it is self-sabotage as well. Like, he probably, he may or may not feel like he deserves it, because he has been quite a shit
Or
most of his
he's
life.
so
Um,
scared of it when it falls apart that he forces it to fall apart before he makes the real connection. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because, he, and it's so great when I think he finally makes that connection with his daughter, or he realizes that that's the connection that he has been missing in his life. He said, I've been, it's kind of like, I've been looking for love in all the wrong places, too many, but the actual genuine love that he's going to feel and have is a fatherly daughter love, that love of real family,
Mm-hmm.
someone for
I
him,
hope.
someone.
Go fight the Coma Conclave. Prove to your daughter that you deserve it, Scanlan. Go do it.
Well, he has someone in this world to care about. Now it's
Who
personal to him.
doesn't want to sleep with? The only person in the world he doesn't want to sleep with.
Right.
I'm sorry, but like, it's just cracked up when she's like, "That's right, you came up here to sleep with your daughter." And it's like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have let her get that far.
Right.
Like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you're right. I mean, you could have found an identical birthmark on her that you have and thought, oh, that's neat. This looks like Wildmount right there. I've got a map of Wildmount too. That's on my. Yeah. Weird, man.
But
But
yes,
yeah, that first genuine
we barely
feeling of
talked
love.
about Keyleth.
I know there were so many greats.
There's so much, and the thing is, I still feel like she had her moments. I still don't feel like she's had her true.
She took a step.
Mm-hmm. She got through the fire bit, and she still like.
Took a step.
And I'm
that's
willing
the
to wait for it, but like
she's been on her Aramente, her journey now for a while.
like that's a character I've been keeping my eye on, and like she leveled up.
She did level up.
But
This is the first time she's actually.
But like she doesn't even have a vestige yet. She's one of the few characters without a vestige.
She hasn't earned it yet.
But
she's gonna get a shield.
Brog, Scanlan all have vestiges. Pike doesn't yet. Percy and Keyleth. They will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
No, when it gets to the end of her episode and like she unleashes all this power, I'm like, hell yes! It's
Mhm.
because
And that's just one element.
yeah, and just
One element.
because, and it's definitely started in season one with this character who's just full of self doubt and seeing her,
Mhm.
discover powers that she doesn't think that she's capable of, and especially with her episode this season, like just going from doubting herself so much and then
Mhm.
powering through and being like, no, I am gonna do this, and
Mhm.
just unleashing this force that it's like, oh my god. As an
Mhm.
audience,
You're like,
as an
she's
audience
a
member,
freaking
I was
fire
just
pyramid.
like, yes.
She literally becomes. I mean, she becomes a fire elemental, giant elemental
I know.
creature.
I was like, oh my
I mean, yeah.
god,
Oh,
Keyleth, you've literally turned into a being from a Miyazaki film. That's what it reminded me of.
Like, as somebody who recognizes the tabletop implications, the game implications of what's happening, I'm like, Keyleth is a druid. She used wild shape to become a fire elemental.
Mhm.
Duh. That means she's high enough level to do that now. Normally, early
Yeah.
on, you can only turn into like maybe a wolf if you're good, and then eventually maybe like a bear and stuff. But yeah.
Oh yeah, she has some.
Oh yeah, big
Oh
time.
yeah, she has a big cat that she wild shapes in most frequently,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a scorpion, giant scorpion
Giant
form.
scorpion's a good one. Giant spider's a good one.
Yeah,
But yeah, like,
that's two.
but just being like, oh yeah, druids do that. They turn into elementals because they can, and it's cool.
Mhm. Yeah, and once she got her elemental forms, that's generally what she would transform
But
into.
but she doesn't have the vestige yet, and
Mhm.
I feel like she won't get it till she's very nearly completed her Armente.
And she'll probably be unstoppable.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh,
when
you
she's
just don't even know.
yeah, Pink Keyleth is maybe the most powerful, at least on the show, unless she's just diving into the water.
I just love that
spoilers.
on
No
one side
spoilers,
of
but if
the
you know,
Keyleth
I just love that on
I
one
think she's
side of her sort of spectrum is fire elemental being, and
oh yeah,
then
the giant.
also still shy little girl who's peeking around the corner being like, oh hi.
mhm.
It's so great. I
Oh
love it.
yeah, that. And someone said
But
earlier, I think it was Dan, that it had a lot of Avatar, especially Katara vibes. So much, waterbender vibes with her. Even though air is her element, so to speak, but she just goes through that same type of thing, doubting herself. So I just
look, she started with
you really
fire.
do pick up air. You really do pick up a lot of airbender.
Yeah, but you're doing it backwards. If you're air, you're supposed to go to water next, not fire.
Let's
That's
see.
why she's having so much trouble.
Well, spoiler alert: water was the last one, so that's the hardest one for her, right? So
Yeah, but
yeah.
like as a major um Katara
Oh yeah.
fan from Airbender, like I'm happy to see that water is the ultimate thing to build up to. So
But yeah, it's part of her larger overarching story that that we'll see. You saw her first step on her actual first step on her Aramente,
Mm-hmm.
which she's just been putting off because she's like, how the giant. Okay, Keyleth is probably a Virgo just like me, and we procrastinate a lot and have so much inner self doubt because we are perfectionists and we want everything to be perfect. So we do that a lot to ourselves. Keyleth's
this
self
rang
doubt.
so true to me, as as a lot of us have, like having experienced so much imposter syndrome. Just the fact that
exactly what she.
That she hasn't, in her mind, she hasn't been doing, the necessary stuff, and like her dad's like, oh, this should be a piece of cake for you, and she's like, you think so?
Sure, Dad, it's just the fire realm, and there's this good giant rip in it. It's fine, I'll fix it.
Nervously, rubs neck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, that's like basically a 2-hour stream right there, and I kind of have to pee. And like, obviously, we could go on and on and on. We all really love this show, and if you guys want to come back and like get deeper into some of this stuff, there's no reason we couldn't do that. Y'all out there in Chatland, let us know if there's something we should be covering that we haven't done yet. Give me a recommendation for a retro review, whatever. But next week, I think I'm going to do some map AMSR. And if you please, I would like to hold on. Can I? No, I can't do that. I can do this, share screen. Easy with 2 monitors. Okay. Well, I don't have 2 monitors, but
We'll figure it out.
This right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so next week, come see how I make something that looks rather like this. This did not happen in a 2-hour stream, but like, come, we'll do some world building. I'll build a map. We'll talk about stuff. It ought to be a lot of fun. And it also means that I don't have to watch anything this week. John, you've got the week off. 2 weeks from now, we don't even know. Maybe it'll be The Last of Us. We're not sure. But yeah, that's what I'm doing next week. Is I'm making a map for the hell of it, for the fish.
That's lovely. I'm so excited. I hope it's Panakapuri.
Yeah, I'm going to probably be working on the Panukapuri one because it is a big one. I think I'm just going to leave it for then as well.
I'm so excited, guys, because this is my character's going to this.
You,
it's a good thing I'm going to be here.
Yeah. Anyway, so come back next week for that. 2 weeks from now, maybe The Last of Us, maybe not. We'll see. John, Nessie, any final thoughts? Vox Machina season 3?
Well, season 3 has already been greenlit. We're going to get campaign 2, I think, as well. I don't know when they're going to start that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is one thing I will say. They did announce quite recently that Critical Role got a whole deal with Amazon to develop multiple stories. So
yes, there are a lot of
stories. A Mighty Nine show is coming, which has Laura Bailey playing Jester, which is what I really want. That's what I really want.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I want Jester. Laura Bailey is Jester.
Jester. Oh, I haven't watched the campaign, but I've seen so many YouTube clips of Jester doing her sendings, and I'm just like,
Jester sending, Jester using speak with plants to talk to crabgrass.
Yes, crabgrass. God, how many episodes is that? How many 100 hours do I have to watch for that? I don't. Well, that's the good thing, because they're going to make a TV show. Reader, the Amazon Digest condensed version. Yes.
No, I just want to finish off by saying, like, I just have fallen so in love with the show, and I'm just annoyed that the second season has only just ended, so I have to wait a long time.
Wait a long time to find out what's next.
Yeah, but it gives me the chance to rewatch it a couple times. I'm actually kind of looking forward to going back to season 1 at some point, because now it's been, I guess, like a few weeks since I watched that, and that's long enough. It's and the thing I didn't get to say to you last week or 2 weeks ago, Stephen, was the thing that I enjoyed so much about season 1 was that just the format of the season really reminded me of playing D&D, like going into like castle and going through these different areas and stuff. And so it was enjoyable for me just having, played some D&D.
The little bit that you did play with us, yeah,
and be like, oh, I recognize this. So yeah, it's just been so much fun, and it seems like they actually only recently released the soundtrack for season 1. I am looking forward to. I hope it doesn't take as long for the soundtrack to season 2 because I can't believe it, but I really do want to have make the bald man cry. It's a catchy song.
Scanlan songs. Oh my god. The songs of Short Halt will be coming out.
And by the way, I remember when I first turned on the show, I guess technically the second episode, because that's the first time they played it. I watched the opening credits and I was like, music's okay. Couple episodes in, I was like, oh my god, I love these opening credits and the music. Yeah, it's so it's so great. They've done a great job with that. So there's my two cents about the music. I think they've done a great job with that
I have a verdict, by the way.
Oh, what's the verdict?
If you like stinky cheese, you're going to do all right. Okay. If you like garlic and stinky cheese.
But yeah, great show. Can't wait for more of it.
Me too.
Yeah, we're going to have to, but yeah, can't wait. But in the meantime,
but you know what? You can have the next best day to come play D&D with me.
That too, it's great. If you got your D&D juices wetted by watching the Legend of Vox Machina, and you think, I want to do something cool like that in my spare time, see this guy right here. And he can hook you up.
Send me a DM on Twitter at RealStephenStark. Send me a reply in the comments of this video. Send me an email to we3dragons@gmail.com.
Yeah, for real.
It doesn't matter which way.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, hire me to be your dungeon master, and yes, I will give you what you want.
Pain, suffering, having your heart ripped out.
But then overcoming and feeling like a heroic badass.
Yes, I can firmly attest to this. Stephen has been my dungeon master for a little over 2 years now.
It's about 2 years now.
Yeah, it's great. It's my Emerald team. That's my OG. I love that. I love that game. Love that group. And Stephen has ripped my heart out before. Oh, it was delicious.
Consequences of actions, and sometimes things happen that are even beyond your control. Anyway, I think that's enough of that. Thank you to everyone who was here live. I never said like and subscribe, but it's YouTube. You guys should have already done that anyway. If you were good friends, you have already done that. You know what? I just realized I hadn't even liked it yet. I hadn't even hit the like button. So I won't hold it against you if you didn't do it just now. But if you don't do it right now, we're not friends anymore. All right. Anyway, yeah, for real though, we'll catch you guys in a week where I'll make maps and well, I'm going to try to have somebody on here to at least talk with me about stuff. I don't like just talking to the camera, but yeah, we'll see what I can scrape together. Yeah. So thanks everyone. We'll see you next week. Until then, you know what it is. Peace. And be excellent to each other.